What's up everybody, Kevin Walsh from Ninja Holistic Health and Fitness. I'm doing a video today on the spine and basically the basics of anatomy of the spine, how it works in motion, and how you can keep yourself kind of at a very baseline, just sort of protected from getting unnecessary injuries and pain syndromes. Most people seem to think that the whole spine, and anatomy in general is too much for them, and the average person, it's too technical to understand, and it couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm going to give you the basics and basically try and empower you with some understanding of how to use your body in space at a very, very basic level. Anybody can understand this, and if you use this, in your everyday life, you're definitely going to benefit as a result. So the first thing is there are four basic curves in the spine. There's the neck, which is called the cervical spine, upper back, which is called the thoracic spine, the lower back, that's the lumbar spine, and at the very bottom you have the sacrum, that's the kind of tailbone. Now, it's divided into two types of curves each. You have the ones that go in, which are the neck and the low back, and you have the ones that go out, which are the upper back and the sacrum. The ones that go out are designed for the prime movement, so the big muscles that move the body in, say, rotations for like a golf swing. Those are coming from the lats, the muscles right here, the big back muscles, and the glutes in the bottom by the tailbone. So those drive the movement, and then the neck and the low back are basically there to be a support system for the body as the big muscles are kind of doing the main movements. Now, it's very, very common for people to move too much through the lower back and through the neck. And if that happens to be the case, it's usually because you're locked up in rotation in the upper back. The upper back will not rotate enough to the left or to the right, and also will not extend like this. We're usually kind of locked into sort of a posture, as a result of the typing that we do all day long. So if you can't rotate through the upper back or extend, or also have weak gluteus maximus muscles, the low back and the neck are going to really have to do more work than they're supposed to as a result, and this leads to a lot of pain syndromes and discomforts. So the main movement, again, should be in the upper back and in the glutes, and the lower back and the neck should only be there to sort of keep the whole ship together. So if you can kind of remember that, and I'll come up with new videos in the future to show you exercises that will help to kind of foster that, that'll really take you a long way. And one last thing is, if you find yourself in what's called an excessive lordotic posture, which is, you have too much curve in the lower back, a very, very simple way to sort of readjust yourself so that you have less pressure down there is to learn how to pull the belly button in and tuck the pelvis under so you flatten the low back. And by doing this, you take pressure off the lumbar spine and you're able to sort of attenuate it. And the ability to sort of move back and forth freely like that with your pelvis is going to have a huge, huge impact on how on the integrity of your lower back and whether or not you're going to get injured or not in the future. A lot of people get injured from doing things, and they think the movement of the actual injury when it happened is the reason they got hurt. And the real problem was actually that they were stuck for a long time in, for example, a hyperlordotic posture where you have too much curve, sort of like Donald Duck like that. If you're stuck in that posture for a long period of time, it's only a matter of time before you get injured. It's sort of like preset as a dysfunction, and the injury that occurs is just the manifestation of that finally kind of going too far. So with that said, try to keep your posture as ideal as possible, which is to have your ear just above the shoulder, like a line going right down here, down through the hip on the side, through the knee, and then through what's called the lateral malleolus. That's the bony kind of section right here, the ankle bone on the side. If you have a straight line going through all of those and the curves are normal, then you're pretty much you're at a good baseline to start from to do different movements, and you won't get injured as easily. So with that said, I'll bring some more videos in the future for you on how to actually sort of foster those, the integrity of those areas of your body, and we'll get into further detail. But that's just the basics right there. That's what the spine is, and when you hear people talking about thoracic or cervical, now you kind of know what it means. So with that said, I hope that's beneficial for you, and I'll come up with more videos in the near future. Until then, stay healthy, and I'll catch you soon.